Welcome to the Nautic Nomad podcast. I'm your host, Randy Berry. Throw off the bow lines, sit back and relax as we discover adventure, explore the world on water, and share about everything yachting. What's up, nomads? This is Randy coming at you from Miami, Florida. I'm down here this weekend stewing it up on a yacht. You can see what we're up to here at Nautic Nomad if you want to follow us on Instagram at Nautic Nomad. In this week's yachting podcast, we explore the world on water with Superyacht Chief Stew Jamila. She is also the owner of Starfish Crew, which is a yacht crew consultancy agency geared towards helping Spanish speakers join the yachting industry. Her bespoke step-by-step guidance covers everything from resume services to agency pitches and also inside information into the yachting world. With over 8 years of yachting under her belt and much experience as a chief stew, she has a wealth of knowledge and experience that she freely shares on her vlog, IGTV, and Instagram. Give her a follow on Instagram at Superyacht Chief Stew. That's Superyacht Chief Stew with underscores in between each word. Today, we discuss having a yachting exit plan. Jamila planned her transition for years and is still undergoing that process. Between her consultancy business and her smart real estate decisions, she is a great example of someone who is transitioning to land seamlessly and in style. Well, thanks for being here. I wanted to ask you to tell us a little bit about the new business that you're starting. So you're a chief stew in the industry, you do freelance now because you've been working for a few years, and you started Starfish Crew, and I think it's such a great concept. So I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I only do freelance while my fiancé is on his rotation, which is during 2 months. So when I'm not on a boat, I run my own business. It's called Starfish Crew, as you've said, and it's basically an online consultancy for people that wants to get into yachts.
That's amazing.
So so I'm focused for now on Spanish-speaking people, just because there is no info at all for Spanish-speaking, and the industry is just not known. Like, no one knows in Spain that yachts are a thing, and that there is a crew on yachts, and you can work on yachts. So I'm focused on that. And obviously the whole of South America speaks Spanish. So I'm lucky enough to be, I think, the only one that does that. So for now, I'm only focused in Spanish speaking. That's why you will see my web only in Spanish. And I publish a blog every Thursday. I publish a new post as well, which is only in Spanish. So yes, basically it's an online consultancy for all these people that ask you, so how do I get into yachts? The million-dollar question.
How do I change my life and go travel the world? It's amazing.
Yes.
That's a really big need too, because when I was a career agent, you get people that are like, they have to be Spanish speaking or they have to be dual speaking, and to find people who speak, both languages, English and Spanish, or, can speak Spanish. It's a challenge because, like you say, the information isn't really out there so much.
Yes, so that's my biggest challenge, to make it known, let's say. So I'm lucky because I'm the only one. Everyone that is looking for info, it just gets to my website because it's the only one. But also it's as well, a little problem because I have to make it known for everyone.
Right. So, right. When you're the first, you have a bit of groundbreaking to do.
Yeah.
But it looks like an incredible site. I actually went on there in Google Chrome and used the Chrome extension to translate all to English. So I was like reading about it, and it looks great. You do resumes and coaching and the guidelines. I love that you have a pitch to give to recruiters. I think that's really smart. It's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. I just came up with the idea because I've got so many emails and DMs and I don't know, everyone reaching out to me during years and years asking the same thing. How do I get into yachts? And you can't send an email, right? You can't explain it all in an email. So I thought, I'm just gonna charge for it, and whoever is willing to know everything and to have the info from a chief stew with years experience and have this first-hand info, I'll be very happy to do so. So that's what I
did. It's all and it's all in one spot, like whereas people can try to get it from all over the internet. It's all just with you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how did you hear about yachting, and how long have you been doing it for? If the information's not really out there so much, like how did you hear about it?
Well, I didn't really. I always say that I won the lottery. I never knew about yachting. I didn't know anything about this industry. I was just I was at uni actually in Madrid, and I was finishing my master's. I went to uni for 6 years, so I was in my last year finishing my master's, and I used to do these little jobs as a hostess and anything that I could have a little bit of pocket money and stuff. So I think, because I don't really know yet, but I think it was in one of these jobs that I did in a very high-end hotel here in Madrid that is called the Hotel Palace. It was on a Thursday, and it was just a 4-hour job. I just had to go to this meeting and whatever. And and next day I got a phone call from someone saying that she was the PA of someone, and she couldn't tell me much on the phone because of security reasons and stuff. And if I wanted to go and meet her and have an interview, and she couldn't tell me anything really, but she wanted to meet me. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, yeah, sure. I don't have uni tomorrow, so I'll go. And I went, and I met the owner's wife.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I met the owner's wife with the PA. And as she said, she loved me. And but I didn't know what she was talking about. She was talking to me about this yacht that was about to cross the Caribbean, and it was a 58-meter motor yacht and whatever, and it all sounded like Chinese to me, to be honest. It all sounded like, I don't know,
like what?
Lady, I never knew about yachting. I hadn't seen a yacht in my life, so I didn't.
Right.
So yeah, I was there for like 2 hours, and this lady talking and asking me questions. And I just wanted to leave. And and at the end I said, she said, okay, so yeah, I would really, really love you to work for us. I think you would be great on our yacht. And I was like, oh, thank you so much, lady, but I'm at uni. I can't go to the Caribbean. I'm at university. I don't thank you so much. I basically said, yeah, thank you so much, but I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So the PA said, look, when do you finish university? And I said, well, this was in May. And I said, it's in June, 10th of June, I remember.
Right.
And she said, okay, so I'll give you a call then. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I just forgot about it. And the day after I did my project for my master's, she called me.
That's amazing.
And she said that, she would love for me to see the yacht because she knows that I would like it and I would be so good in the crew. And I flew in the private jet to the boat the next day.
That's amazing.
They flew me on their private jet, and I didn't even know what I was gonna do on this yacht. But this was June 2010.
Oh, awesome.
Here I am now.
That's amazing. That is so cool.
I was quite scared, to be honest, when my family, they were like, what do you mean you are flying on a jet? What do you mean? But it was like the next day, literally. They flew me over the next day. Like, my family was like, what do you mean? This is like drug dealers or something. Don't you dare go anywhere and wherever. But yeah, my family lives 500 kilometers away from Madrid, so they couldn't do anything about it. So I was like, okay, I'm going. Bye.
Yeah. I'm going to have fun. That's amazing. Yeah. That's such a small world. I started yachting in August 2010.
Oh,
The
wow.
same year. Oh,
Yeah.
back then,
It seems
it
like
was very
yesterday, to be
different.
honest, to me.
Yeah, yeah. That's, back then, finding out about yachting, like you say, like you like won the lottery in the most random way. There wasn't as much information out there as there is now. Instagram wasn't even around. I'd worked at a yacht club actually, but it was more like a small boat club, small owner operator boats coming in, and they redid the docks one year, and we got like the big super yachts in. We had C1 in. Um, and the crew came up to the bar and they were talking to me, telling me, I was like, what do you do? And they were explaining it to me, and I was like, what? Like, you don't have to pay for your food or anything? They're like, no. I was like, this has got to be a joke. It's like, you're kidding me. Like, it sounds crazy to people,
Yep.
who don't really know about it.
Yep.
Definitely.
To me, it sounds really crazy, but when I saw that jet, I was like, okay, this is for me. Yes, thank you very much.
Amazing. Like, yes, please. That's so awesome. So I wanted to ask, I'm watching your IGTV videos, which are awesome, and I wonder if you could talk about that a bit here, about how you planned your path to where you are currently. I know that you didn't just decide one day, like, okay, that's it. I love that you like a more structured and planned approach to it.
Yeah, I'm not someone that does things just impulsively.
Right.
Apart from joining my first job, that was an impulse, yes. But no, I usually think a lot about the next step, let's say, and I plan a lot as well. So yeah, I started. I left my permanent position, let's say my last permanent position after the Met season in 2016. So September 2016. I was really happy, really. I had it all. I was on rotation. I had a great salary. The owner loved me, whatever. But, a couple of seasons before that, I had been working for him for a while, and I was starting to get too comfortable, let's say. And I started to think about it, like 2 years before, let's say. And I thought, I know that I can't do a normal 9 to 5 job. I know I can't do that because I never have. Like, as I said, I went straight from uni to my boat. So I didn't know what real life was, let's say, if you know what I mean. I just went from uni, and I thought, what am I gonna do now? What about the money? I'm so used to, yachties. Like, I'm so used to not being worried about money. And I heard all these stories from my friends earning €1,000 a month, and and having to pay rent and all this. And I was like, no way I'm doing that. Like, no way. But I also knew that I was gonna leave. Like, I also knew that there would be a time that I would want to leave, and I am not someone that will just keep hanging onto something that I don't really want. So I just started thinking about it, and I thought, okay, what can I do? And I obviously I studied at uni, but I didn't want to do anything related to that. So I just received all these emails and all these messages, and Instagram was still starting to come up, and all these people thinking about how to do to get a job like mine and all this. And I thought, well, this is something I can make a business out of. So I started thinking about it. But as I said, just thinking, like, I still did yachting permanently for like 2 years or something. And I planned a lot as well. Also, my other thing was that I knew I didn't want to leave completely. I love yachting. I just love it. I love being a chief stew. I'm not ready to leave, to leave completely and to be home, and I'm just not ready. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna do some research about if there is freelance work out there for chief stews. So I signed to all the crew agencies, which I had never done since 2010, because I never had to look for a job, really, because I always went from one boat to another boat without really having to look for it. So I signed to all these crew agencies, and I started doing my research. And I thought that there was actually quite a lot of work for, freelance chief stews. So I was like, okay, so I can always, do that. And that's what it was really. And at the end of the med season in 2016, I left my permanent job, which was really hard because I really liked it. And I really loved, and I still do. I came back to the boat a couple of times actually to work for him again. I just trips and stuff. I really appreciate that owner. I love that captain. He's been my captain for 7 years, so I can't say no to him. I just every time he calls me like, Jamila, please, I need you to come, even if it's just for a week. I just go because So I did a lot of planning really, and
that's smart.
with the money as well. I really did a lot of planning with the money.
And you guys invested in rental properties as well, right?
Yes.
Like you and your fiance.
Yes.
Which I think is smart.
Yeah. We do have 3 properties at the moment, and we are about to buy our 4th one, which hopefully, if it comes through, fingers crossed, it will be our family home. So this one we will not rent it. So yeah.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Well, I'll cross my fingers for you guys.
It's been a roller coaster this last property because, it's your family home. So you want it to be, perfect, let's say. But hopefully it comes through in the next few weeks.
That's incredible. I don't know if you've seen on Instagram Anchor Property.
Yes. I follow them.
Out of Anchor. There's like such a great idea, former yachties who are helping other people get into the investment game, and I just love their posts are always like, land's not going anywhere, and so that's really smart, I think, too.
No, absolutely. I always encourage everyone, like all my girls, like all the junior stews that you see them spending their tips, and I always say, girls, you won't be 20 forever. I understand, believe me, I understand. I am proud of owner of a few luxury handbags, and I love fashion and everything related to it. But I really, from the beginning, actually, I always set myself an imaginary, how I call it, imaginary salary.
Right.
So I had this imaginary salary, and all the rest I saved it.
Smart.
So I did that from the beginning, and and thanks to that, I was able to buy my first property mortgage free. Really, I never had a mortgage on that property, and after my partner is it's almost the same. He loves property development, and he really likes investing in this kind of properties, and just rent them out, and that's an income that we will always have, and so
that's
it makes
amazing.
it easier, because real life is not easy and it's not cheap.
It's a big shock when you go to have to buy your own toothpaste and toilet paper and razors and shampoos and all that stuff. It's like, even hand soap, I'm like, gosh, why is this stuff all just That's so smart. And I think, if anyone's thinking about getting into yachting, thinking about like not having to plan it out, but just realizing that, is it your means to an end, or is it your forever career? But either way, like, make a plan. If you're going to get into it, think about how you're going to get out of it, especially if you want to.
Absolutely. A big part of my planning, this 2-year planning that I did before just doing freelance, was I just set myself an amount of money that I had to have in the bank before I left my permanent job. And I didn't leave till I had that amount of money. So, I refused to leave. But it was easy for me because I still loved my job. I didn't have to force myself to keep working.
Right.
I just said, okay, when I have this amount of money in the bank and I'm comfortable to just, live comfortably for a while I establish myself and why we
Yeah.
look for an apartment and whatever, all this real life stuff that you don't really know that you have to do. Then I
Right.
leave. And that's what I did.
Oh, that's so smart. I love that. That's
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I was going to ask how has yachting enriched your life? I mean, in more ways, obviously monetarily and seeing the world, it's been an incredible opportunity. But then outside of that, how else has it enriched your life?
Well, I loved every single thing about yachting. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm always talking about yachts. Every time I feel like I'm boring my friends, but actually I'm not. They love it, They love
Yeah.
when because it's the only thing I talk about, really, because it's my only job. So I don't really
Right.
have anything else to talk about. So yeah, I just love it. Apart from the money and the lifestyle, which we all know, right? I've
Yeah.
been very lucky. I really have. Like, I've been really lucky. I I had an amazing captain for a lot of years, and he's an amazing person, and he's an amazing friend to me. He's
Right.
more like a father to me on yachting. Let's say anything he tells me, I'll do, because
That's amazing.
it's worked pretty well for me. So he proved himself right.
That's
so
amazing.
so yeah, I've been very lucky to have him from the first moment I joined my first boat. And he's all,
Awesome.
sometimes I've left his boats. Yeah, like sometimes he told me, Jamila, you need to leave this boat. You need to leave. Just do some other
Oh,
boats, and after, when I can offer you the conditions you really deserve and whatever, you'll come back. And I've always come back. So
right.
so yes, I was very lucky to have him in my career. I will be forever grateful to him.
Right.
And apart from that, I had very good chief stews
Mm.
from the beginning. And I only had one bad experience, really. Like, I'm always so sad when people says about these awful boats that they've worked on, and these awful
Yeah.
people that have bullied them and whatever. Like, I had one in like 8 years, over
Right.
8 years, and that was it, and it wasn't even that bad. I was just, I was like, well, I'm leaving this boat. I don't care, like,
Yeah.
you can get if you have good references and you have longevity and whatever, you can get another job. You don't have to allow anyone to treat you badly,
Right.
so yeah, I just think I've been so lucky, and that's why I've just yeah, I love everything about it. I can't say anything. I don't know.
That's great. But I think that, having a great mentor in the industry is such a great thing to have. Like, whereas people could have you helping them get into the industry, like sometimes maybe your chief stew's that person or your captain's that person, or there's someone there to kind of guide you along the way and help you make the next steps. I think that's so valuable to have, like the right people influence you. And I always say, it's all about who you know and being in the right place at the right time. So,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, uh, I will always thank that captain, and I know that if something goes wrong in my life, let's say, I'll always have a place on his
yeah,
boat, and yeah, I'll always thank him. And also, I had an amazing chief stew on my first yacht.
yeah.
Her name is India Bryant, by the way, and she's the queen of cakes. She has a she also works on yachts, but she's on rotation, and
Oh, that's
she
amazing.
makes these amazing cakes when she's back home. So
Oh,
yeah, she's called Indie Queen of Cakes on Instagram.
oh,
So
that's
she
awesome.
was my chief stew on my first boat, and she just, I don't know. I remember that I just got to this yacht not knowing anything, and I just looked at her, and she was just so perfect, and I was like, what? Like, how is this person even so perfect? Like, she
Oh,
doesn't she
sweet.
doesn't do anything wrong. Like I knew nothing. I didn't even know how to make a bed, and yeah, she just floated around the boat kind of thing. And I was like, what? So I just wanted to be like her, basically.
Oh, sweet. That's
I think I still
amazing.
do. I think I still do.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's so nice to have someone who, yeah, like especially when it's a great chief stew. I was so lucky. My first chief stew was also like incredible. Man, that woman can organize chaos like you've never seen. She could run the world. I'm just like watching her in motion. I remember just being like, just tell me what to do. I think it's so important too because, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
getting taught the proper way and the right way to do things.
Oh
And that's
yeah,
really
because
important.
you know, I know people that they've they had a bad experience and they just left yachting on their
It's such a shame.
their very first yacht. It was hell, which I understand. You know, I understand, but yachting is not like that, guys. Yachting is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. If you have one bad experience, don't let that spoil everything because,
Exactly.
yeah, try again.
Exactly.
Get back in the machine and try for the next one. So I wanted to ask okay, your favorite parts of yachting is kind of hard because you love it all. But maybe what is some of, if there is a least favorite thing about yachting, what would you say it is?
My least favorite part is that you don't own your life, let's say.
Right.
Yeah, you just you need to be available basically, like yeah, so that was something that at the end, let's say, when I was, you know, when I decided to like leave my permanent job, I just wanted to be home for these important things that I
Right.
considered I had to be. Like first few years, I wrote a post last night about this. First few years, I didn't even realize. Like the first 3-4 years, I was just so busy, so happy, loving it so much.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize, like, you know, yeah, okay, my family went to this cousin's wedding or whatever. Well, whatever, you know, I was in Panama loving life, or
Yeah.
things like that. But like on Monday, my little cousin got married this past Monday, and I was there, you know, and
Amazing.
yeah, and I was like, oh wow, you know, I wouldn't miss this for the world now because I'm
Right.
older and you know, and I feel that I've done it all, which I haven't. Of course, I haven't. No one has. But on
Right.
yachts, you know, I don't feel the need to be in Panama right now. You
Right.
know, I was in Switzerland with my cousin and with all my family, and I was so happy. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's the only thing I can say that now, you know, I have a little godchild. She's 6 weeks old, and
Oh, sweet.
yeah, and I was at the hospital when she was born. So
Amazing.
yeah, I wouldn't forgive myself nowadays to not have been there. Which,
Right.
you know, 8 years ago I would be like, all right, well, I'm sorry I missed her birth, but you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only thing really.
Yeah, that is true. You can't expect to go home for Christmas or be home for certain things. That's,
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
last Christmas I was home and I was like, and my partner was on his boat and I was like, oh, you know, Paul, maybe I'll do some work over Christmas. And he was like, oh, Jamila, really? Like, do you really need to work on Christmas? Like, you
Aw.
know, you've spent all the Christmas basically on the boat, so just go home. He was like, just go home.
Oh,
I have
sweet.
to work, but you know. So yeah, I didn't. So I spent Christmas
That's
at
so
home.
sweet. That's so awesome. That's nice too that your partner understands that, look, you deserve this. You put in enough time and effort over the years. Enjoy those things you've missed out on so many.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah. If it
important.
was for him, I think, yeah. If I didn't want to work on boats anymore, he would be happy. Really, like he wouldn't. Yeah, he knows I love it though, so he's never asked me to stop. Let's say, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think you know, we are not 20 anymore, and yeah, he would support me. And if I wanted to start a family right now, he would have 10 children by now.
That's so sweet. Well,
Men,
sweet.
men.
Yeah. So where of all the places you've been, where is your absolute favorite places to visit by sea?
are lots of places that I really love and they're beautiful. But the
Yes.
only place that I said, okay, I would live here, like someone please offers me a job, like in a coffee shop or whatever, because I'll stay right now. It's San Diego. I loved
Oh,
San Diego.
really?
Yes. I loved everything about San Diego. I love California in general. I just, I loved
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Our boat was there for 4 months. And
wow.
I didn't want to leave. I was like, please, like, I need to marry an American or something. I don't know what I need to do to stay here, but
sweet.
So, I loved it. I love San Diego.
That's amazing. California definitely has a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's different. I'm from Canada originally, and living in South Florida is interesting because, it is a huge mashup of cultures. The Canadians come down in the winter. You kind of have that like relaxed vibe because of the warm weather, but it's also like a little bit crazy. But then California's got that like still warm weather vibe, and then everything seems more relaxed. Like I love Point Loma in San Diego, like the point where everyone goes and surfs there.
Yeah.
It's just such a stunning place.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
That's awesome. Sweet. Well, thank you so much. I don't know if you've got any other questions for me or any other tips or advice that you would want to lend to the audience.
No, I would just say that, there are lots of people that text me every single day asking me or saying, I'm having such a bad time. I don't know if yachting is for me. Chief Stew treats me badly. I don't like the crew, whatever. The boss is ugly. And I just, yachting is amazing. Like, you might have not found the right yacht for you. Just keep looking because yachting is an amazing industry. What looks like the world to you when you are on the boat and it's so bad and you are so upset and whatever, well, believe me, real life is not so easy.
Right.
And I'm saying this and I don't even have such a real life yet. But like, when I see my friends, the salaries that they are on and the lifestyle that, they can't go on holiday. They don't have days off. They have nothing like we do. So just, just remember that you just haven't found the right job for you.
Yeah.
But that's it. And not everyone is awful in the industry. And just there are amazing people out there. So just take advantage of the opportunity because, lots of people try to get into yachts and they can't. So if you've been lucky enough to find a job on yachts, just make the most out of it. That's all I can say.
Yeah. No, that's really true. Just getting your foot in the door and getting your first job. That's a struggle for a lot of people. And then, the kind of jobs that they qualify for. So, if anyone has any questions they want to check out Jamila's website, please go to starfishcrew.com and check it out and make sure you're following her on Instagram because she's an awesome resource. She posts incredible posts and just very inspirational. And I've really been loving your content and connecting with it, especially being land-based myself and making that transition out. Maybe sometimes you get stuck, you're not sure like how I'm going to do it or like what's the next step or, or you like leave and then you come back the next season, you're like, oh, I don't even want to be here. Like I really wanted to leave. And, like I always say, it's better to leave a boat before it's too late. Yeah. Sometimes if you're on the right boat, but then it comes time for you to leave because you've grown. It's better to leave before it's too late because I've seen people get bitter or they go, they've been there for too long. You need to know when it's time to move on. And I think the same thing with yachting is get prepared before you get sick and tired or, like not saying that would happen. Obviously, you love it so much and would do it forever. But I think that it's great.
And that is something that it really bothers me. Like there aren't many things in life that bother me, to be honest, but that bothers me a lot. Like when people complain all the time, and it's like, well, you are not forced to be here. Like, why are you here? If you are not happy, leave. You don't have to make the other crew members miserable like you. It does really bother me. Like
That's
Even these
true.
people that complain on Facebook about
Right.
their jobs, it's like, is someone forcing you to be there? Like, I mean, I'm sorry, are you kidnapped? So, yeah, stop complaining. Like, because
That's
you
so
make
true.
other people, miserable. If you don't like it, leave. No one is
Yeah.
forcing you to do anything.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
something
that
about
bothers
it.
me.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
finishing with a rant, but I had to
that's
say.
good. Well, it does impact people a lot because you're in a small working environment. You aren't just working with them, you go to sleep like in the same bunk as them sometimes, in the same room as them. It's one bad apple can sour the whole patch really fast, for sure.
Yep.
Bring everyone else down. Oh, thank you so much for coming on the show today and just sharing your insight and your advice. It's really inspiring, and just thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, have a great evening over there in Madrid. Enjoy Spain for me. Please have some tapas for me.
Oh, I do. I do.
Wonderful.
I do. My personal trainer is never happy about that. But
Shame. Just one for me.
yes, I have more than one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I really hope that you enjoyed my chat with Jamila at Superyacht Chief Stew on Instagram. You can give her a follow there if you have any follow-up questions for her or are more interested in what she does. That's at Superyacht Chief Stew with the underscores in between each word. Also, if you're interested in her consultancy business or getting help from her and joining the industry as a Spanish-speaking person, you can check out her website, starfishcrew.com. I also want to say a huge shout out to our friends and deal partners, Mankind for Men Spa here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's a great spot to stop by with your friends, chill out with the boys, play some pool, drink some beers, and have that whole barbershop experience. If you're interested in learning more about the deals program, you can go to nauticnomad.com/blog/deals to learn more about what you can get, the discounts you can get at Mankind here in Fort Lauderdale. Guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this week. Please send us your feedback. You can let us know at Nautic Nomad on Instagram, or if you can subscribe or give us a rating on the iTunes store, that would really help to help spread the word about Nautic Nomad. Share us with your friends if you like what we're doing. Safe sails and following seas, everyone. Until next time.